Hi, I'm Beth Frericks, and I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications for Chief Industries, and I am here today with Justin Sanford, and we are focused right now on the transition of leadership here at Chief Construction. So Justin, I wanted to start out by asking you, what led you to Chief Industries, and what does your background look like?
Well, my background starts in Ayer, Nebraska, a little town just south of Hastings. It is a town that we were required basically to work with our hands. And if I wasn't working in the field, I was helping the local roofer, but anything with my hands. And that led me to college. And getting through college, I paid a lot of my college through working construction, working for a roofing company there, and then ultimately for a mason, where I did a lot of harder labor as a masonry tender. And naturally that led me to construction management. And then as I got through construction management, our construction management department sent out a book of resumes of the graduating seniors, and it led to Sampson Construction. And I think there was about 40 resumes that went out, and Sampson liked that I worked with my hands and I was a hard worker, was probably middle of the road on the grades, but that stood out to them, and that led to a 29-year career with Sampson's. And while at Sampson's, when I started, there was 6 project managers / estimators, and by the time that I left, I was managing a department of over 60 project managers in 5 offices amongst 3 different states. And our kids moved out of the house, and we were ready for a change, and very comfortable with the culture here, and have known DJ and Roger for many years. And they're men of integrity, and that was the first thing that led me to them. And I also knew that they were undergoing tremendous growth, and that's a process that I was familiar with because we did that at Sampson Construction. And my wife says that I have a motor and I'm energetic, and I know that that's what it takes to help grow companies and lead them in the right direction, and that felt like a perfect fit for me. And actually, Chief is the only company that I considered leaving my previous employer for.
That is a huge statement. And so you talked about, you grew up in the Tri-City area. Yes. So were you aware of Chief Industries when you were growing up?
Yeah, I was a little bit. I worked for a company called Linweld out of Hastings, and I would come over here and I'd repaint their oxygen tanks and those big white tanks outside of Chief buildings. In high school, so I knew a little bit of them during that time, but just naturally in Lincoln and the work that they've done out at West Haymarket, was very familiar with them, and actually have had the privilege to work on a few jobs with Chief on the Huddle project and on the hospital here in Grand Island as well.
So you talked a little bit about that you knew Roger Bullington and DJ Ihusen prior to coming on board, and they're men of integrity, which is absolutely true. It's a great statement for them. And you worked with Chief a little bit, but was there anything that stood out to you about Chief before you came on board?
Well, the culture that Roger helped build within the construction division is second to none. And it's obvious when you talk to the Chief employees that they liked working there. It was a family-led company, and that's something that I had been very comfortable with working with my previous employer. So that, first of all, is what stood out to my wife, Sarah, and I.
Which Chief is always about people first, and so knowing that you could feel that without even being in our culture definitely is something that stands the test of time as well. You obviously knew about Chief prior to you started with Sampson. You were able to lead a team there, and you've had quite a bit of experience being able to lead a team across different states. So how would you describe your leadership style?
Well, my leadership style is, first of all, let's understand what's working and not change that. Let's just try to enhance that. But I do think that I am strategic and organized, and always think about what's the consequence or what good things could come out of some decisions that we're going to make. And it might just not be a result of something that's going to happen tomorrow, but maybe a 5-year decision. And I take my time and I think through that. But I also understand, what do people do well? Let's continue to have them do those things, but even make those better. And I can only do that by being hands-on. Not in a micromanaging way, but being hands-on and to support them. And I think it's really important that I'm a familiar face, not just amongst the people in the office here or our field, but also the community as well. And I just think that's the best way to build and make things better.
And so I know you've only been at Chief for a short time, maybe just to the point of getting to know people's names and some positions, but with your leadership style, what do you feel is going to be the most influential with the team here?
So I've seen numerous different ranges of projects, different sizes, different owners, whether it's a tax-funded entity or it's private money, different complexities. So I've seen a lot of different types of projects that I think it could really enhance the experience for our people here as well.
And you've already mentioned it too, there's been a lot of growth over Chief in the last 10 to 15 years. Roger Bollington has done an amazing job with the team and the projects he's worked on and focused on. And so there's some big shoes to fill. And so as we think about that, I know that can give a little anxiety and pressure, but you do come with a strong resume. And so what are you focused on for that next chapter to continue that growth for Chief?
Well, obviously you mentioned that I have big shoes to fill with Roger. And I'm going to continue to utilize his support. And again, he wants this thing to succeed. He's really invested a lot in it. But where we're going to go forward is we're going to make sure, again, that we're continuing to do the things that we do well, but we're also going to make sure that we don't have too much multitasking going on with our employees. We need to make sure that they're focused on what they do well. We're able to support them in some other areas. We're going to be looking at bringing in some support staff. We have project managers right now that are doing estimating and managing projects, and that's great. But if we're going to continue to grow, we need to make sure that we're doing it the right way and that we're being efficient in how we're doing it, but allowing them to grow and do a good job at what they're doing. So I think we'll see some support staff come in. And I think once we get our arms around that, I think our growth is not just internal in the Tri-City communities any longer. I think we can start to look at some different markets as well.
Is there any one thing that excites you the most?
Well, I'd like to help the people continue to grow. This is an energetic group. They've been really supportive of me, and I know that they really care a lot about Chiefs. So the support that I have from them in the corporate office and Roger as well excites me. But I like to see people do good things and continue to grow, and they feel good about what they're doing every day. And then ultimately we'll have some other people come in and help support them, and that will continue their growth journey.
Well, thank you, Justin. I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, thank you.